Kate Diamondow's page. And you mentioned you're listening to the Potsy and Tino show. And that's not a bad thing, monkey. That's a good thing. Bang!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, the Pots and Pans Network brings to you its tag team champions of the world, the Road Dogg Tino, great, that's my buddy Eddie, the badass Rob Potsy Potchak, that's right, the new age Potsy and Tino show, if you will.
Where was his shirt?
He didn't have a shirt on.
I saw that.
Our theme song, as always, is brought to you by Adam Soundscats, called The Wrestling Song. It's available on iTunes for 99 cents. And Tino wants to talk about when I loaded up TikTok, and my buddy Eddie just wants to sit there without his shirt on.
I might need a drink now.
Well, I offered you.
Oh, I saw the commercial for that
on the Super Bowl, right? Yeah. So here, you want one? There you go.
What is that? Let's see.
It's
Real Card Super Crisp Light Beer.
It tastes like water.
Carbonated.
Lightly carbonated, like not like seltzer carbonation.
4%.
4% alcohol, yep. All right, since you got that one, I'm going to grab another one.
Welcome to the show, ladies and gentlemen. As you can see, we are here.
On both TikTok.
Yeah, we're on the TikTok.
The TikTok,
and
as
the
you like to call it.
TikTok. And we're on the YouTube. TikTok, YouTube. Oh, you guys don't know what I'm pointing at. Pointing at his phone is TikTok, and you guys don't know what I'm pointing at. We're on the iPad. That's YouTube.
So, with that said, let's see if I can fall down, trying to sit back down now. We are the Potsy and Tino show, as I said. And, you know, we've got a lot to talk about when it comes to pro wrestling tonight. But before we get to that, Tino, I can't put it up on TikTok. I don't know how to do that. But you know what time it is. It's What's Up With You time. So what's been going on with Tino? Don't you say nothing, because
because working from home is not everything like. I'm trying to remember.
Yeah.
So everything runs together. I had work last week. Saturday, I did a show in Fuquay. I did the Mason Jar Brewery, which is cool, and that place was packed. So I'm outside playing for everybody. They had food truck there, and everybody had a good time. They had fire pits going. Made a lot of money in my tip bucket. Nicole and Matthew came out and chilled for a little bit. Sunday had the Super Bowl party. I watched the football game that started that was the opening act for the concert, and
right.
We had
anybody from who grew up in the 90s was sitting there talking about how the Super Bowl halftime show was.
Shit was lit. Boy, we had a ball. And then
did you see all the garbage from that though? Like everybody sitting there saying that 50 cent looked like a whole dollar.
I said like $1.50.
See, I got upset about that because like none of us look like we did back then. None of us.
I know, and I know what he was trying to do. He was doing the thing from the video where he was
upside down. Yeah. Which was fine. I was fine with him being upside down there, Tino. What I didn't like was all of the people sitting there claiming that he looked fat. And he didn't really. He looked a little thick in the face, kind of like we do. You know, a little heavy here. But
he wasn't fat, but he wasn't ripped like he was in the video.
He's 30 years older.
I think that's what people were getting at.
Yeah,
I still enjoyed the hell out of it.
But literally 30 years older.
They still had the Kendrick Lamar thing. I was like,
everybody was sitting there saying, "Was Kendrick Lamar bring a kid to school day?"
No,
or bring your kid to work day.
It didn't fit. Well, now I enjoyed what they did, but it just didn't fit. You know what I mean? It was just like one of these things is not like the other. He did a great job. I'm not saying he did a bad job.
Well, did he though? Because he didn't look up at the cameras at all. He literally was just looking at the ground like this the whole time.
I know that's what they do now. I don't know if he was intimidated. He should have been, but I don't know if he was intimidated. Because dude, you had some damn stellar goats. You had goats. That's all I got to say.
I mean, it literally was like
goats. the goats.
the epitome of hip hop, right?
Yes.
Like, and we're talking like classic hip hop.
Yeah.
Although some of those folks still actually put out albums today.
Mhm.
You know, like
All of them do.
yeah. So I
All
mean,
of them do.
and I mean, Snoop just bought like Death Row Records. You know, so I mean, like,
Dude, to be his age, that mug, he is still smooth as hell. Snoop's just the coolest mug, and he's got grandkids. Can you imagine your granddad is Snoop Dogg? Imagine Christmases at your house. They've been crip walking their birthday, just come out crip walking.
Well, dude has his own hot dog line.
Yeah.
He's got his own weed line. He's got his own clothing line.
And then him.
Like, what do you get him for Christmas?
Him and Martha Stewart, that shit still cracks me up.
The fact that
they just meld together is amazing, man. What he's done is amazing.
It always trips me out watching those two do commercials or whatever, because you know that's how they are in real life.
Yes.
Like she's sitting there going, "What would you add to this? Oh, a little green. Oh, of course. You know, like." So, folks, this is a little experiment tonight. Obviously, we've got our normal show on YouTube, youtube.com/Rob Potchak. But tonight we are also on Rob Potsy Potchak on TikTok.
Yeah, you're closer.
So I'm sitting here trying to get to the chat to see what's going on. Chris Barrett, how's it going? Michael Turner, also great to see you in the audience. And of course, on TikTok, if you're out there and want to say hello, there is the chat function on there as well. Might be a little bit harder for us to read it, but please go ahead. Don't be shy. Say hi. So of course you watched the Super Bowl. Did you have a team in the game? Because I'm going to tell you,
I'm a Giants fan. I didn't have skin in that game, so I pulled for the Bengals.
You pulled for the Bengals. So I was like, okay, if there's a team that I'm going to pull for, I'm going to pull for Los Angeles, and the reason why wasn't because I really had anything against the Bengals. Well, I look at Joe Burrow, their quarterback, you know, the 25-year-old kid, and that kid just looks like a prick. like he's just got this stoic face and everything where you're just like,
Nicole pulled for the Rams because Odom Beckham Jr. from the Giants is on the Rams. That's why she's pulling.
So I pulled for the Rams during the game because Matthew Stafford, the quarterback,
right,
had played for the Detroit Lions so long that this was the only way he was ever going to win. You know, like so knowing that he was you know, went to the team and everything to actually try to have a chance at winning, kind of like Tom Brady left New England last year to go to Tampa Bay to do the same thing. But, you know, like, it was already a good team. Coach didn't like the quarterback play of their former quarterback, so of course went out and got you know, a good quarterback, but he was a good quarterback on a perpetually bad team, right? So of course I was pulling for him, and then, you know, like, I really wanted them to win after that really bad touchdown pass. You know, the one where
one where they kept doing it over and over and over.
Well, the one where they showed the receiver grab the face mask.
And they didn't throw a flag.
And it was like
even the receiver's like, hey man.
he's like, come on. And of course everybody's like, wow, that was an easy touchdown, you know, but of course it was. Like, you jack a dude's neck, you're like it looked like one of those scenes out of like a karate movie or whatever, where they're like, you know, just so I was pulling for them. They actually they pulled out the game. The other interesting thing that I thought, you know, because I always watch the commercials and everything.
This commercials suck.
Is it just me though, or did they go super nostalgic with commercials this year? Like, you had the Austin Powers Dr. Evil commercial. You had the Scrubs commercial. You know, Tino and I were just watching episodes of Scrubs
because they had all those acts from the 90s. That's the only thing I can think of.
I thought because the hip hop acts, everybody was like, oh, we'll do that too. We'll go 90s. Of course, like I said, it's Dr. Evil with Rob Lowe and, you know, whatever. But and I still thought it was funny that you know, they're still going after Scott with everything, you know.
I was waiting for it, and they finally did the Budweiser with the Clydesdale, because it's not a Super Bowl without a Clydesdale commercial. And I'm like, are they really going to let this go? I'm like, nope, they didn't let me down.
Well, and then, you know, I watched the Doctor Strange trailer. Did you watch the whole trailer? Did you hear the voice?
Yeah.
Maybe we should let him know. You know, it's like, oh my God, it's Patrick Stewart. It's Professor X. They're finally doing it.
You think they're gonna do it?
Oh, they're gonna do it. It's definitely gonna be Professor X, but it's not gonna be the Professor X that everybody expects. Hear me out. So the theory is the way that they were able to talk him and possibly even Hugh Jackman to come in and do one film was to make it, you know how like with Loki they had the what do they call them, the variants?
Yes.
So it's a variant version of those characters, so a different universe of those characters.
Okay.
So that's why he's part of the Illuminati, which was something done in Marvel Comics where it was like the 5 smartest guys in the Marvel universe all come together from time to time to sit there and discuss like what's going on with everything. So yeah, so super excited about that. I thought that was super cool. Thought it was awesome. Chris Barrett in the chat says the Austin Powers ad bothered me because at the end of the last movie, Dr. Evil turned babyface and Scott turned heel. Yeah, but they nobody watched the third one. Not true. All of those films actually went over pretty well. But you know, then you had the Zeus commercial with Arnold Schwarzenegger.
Those were funny as hell.
I was reading on Twitter, and Cliff Bleszinski said, "Give me the Zeus movie with Arnold Schwarzenegger now." So yeah, like that stuff. I thought that was pretty cool. What's going on with me? Last week, you know, Saturday, I had my first signing in a while. Nice.
Excuse me. It's the beer. It's this carbon.
Yeah, it's not the Mountain Dew with the carbon.
No, I've been drinking that all the way here. This right here got me. But go ahead.
All right. So, anyways, went and did my first signing out in Fayetteville on Saturday. Had a great time. Did some drawings, sent some comics off to get graded, so that we got some cool stuff coming. You know, Friday, Tino. Friday, and I've got to get you to make sure that you're going to be there. I know that the family's going to be out of town, so you're
partying.
Yeah, you're going to be partying by eating wings at the Hot Ones Challenge, which will be live streamed like tonight.
Go to the bar and watch a live music. I don't get to do that.
You don't want to listen to anybody else play. So anyway, yeah, so just as a reminder for everybody, Friday night special edition of the Potsy and Tino show. We'll be introducing some other guests. Mark, you know, our buddy Mark from the Chris Callahan tribute episode.
Cool.
He's going to be there partaking as well. He says, Potsy, I gotta be honest with you, man. It's going to be terrible. Like I know I'm not going to do well with this because I hate hot shit, but you know, I'll be screaming and yelling and just like yelling obscenities. But I'll if you're gonna do it, I'll do it. I'm like, all right, cool. Chris Edge will be there, and then of course, you know, you guys have all heard me talk about my brother-in-law and sister. They'll be there.
The food bar.
So,
you still?
Oh my God, dude!
That's still a thing.
So yes, it became even worse. So he's so adamant about not wanting to eat wings. Right? He's like, I don't ever eat anything with my hands. I always have to use it. And it's like, sorry, man. Like the whole point of it is that you get this shit on your fingers.
Does he not eat shit with his hands?
I don't know, man.
You've known him alone, so you've never seen him eat?
No, not really. He just drinks.
Oh, okay.
You know, so I mean, like, but he picks that up with his hand.
You gone to dinner? I mean, he's come over for Thanksgiving. You didn't see him.
He's always like, you know, like fork and knife. But anyway, so
you eat a burger and fries. Hot dog. I think
he does. So he definitely eats it. He doesn't want to get the sauce.
That's what it is. That's what.
And none of us do. None of us. And so last night I was talking to another buddy of mine named Chris, and he was saying that like he actually tried the hottest sauce that they like just this weekend. He tried the hottest sauce that we're gonna eat, and he's like, didn't do anything. And I'm like,
what's a him problem?
Yeah, exactly. So this guy's like, yeah, I've got a high pain tolerance. So like,
yeah.
and I've got a high pain tolerance. I mean, I put up with you, but with as many times as you smacked me on this show,
not hard. Not like as hard as I can. Those are love.
Those are love taps. So anyway, this is why he came over, so he could smack me a couple more times tonight. But
You could make me eat them hot wings. I'm gonna fuck you up tonight.
so I told Shane that, and I don't did I mention it last week that I said that I get to pick the next challenge.
Yeah.
So
and you told him it was stand up comedy for 5 minutes.
5 minutes of stand up comedy.
And he said he'll put you to shame.
He said he'll put me to shame.
Shut up.
so yeah, I think that's going to be the next challenge is 5 minutes of stand up at open mic night. And I said that you can't be told to get off the stage. So like I'm joking that we're going to have our own wireless mic with a little speaker on it, so that way if they try to get us out of there, we just keep going. It'll be hilarious, man. It'll be hilarious. It'll be hilariously bad.
Yes.
So, and I won't force you to do that one. Although you might want to. I don't know.
I'm doing stand up.
Well, you and I could just sit here and do this, and we'd actually probably have people laughing at some of the shit we talk about.
Possibly.
So yeah. So that's really all. Like, and then Saturday I'm going out to Ultimate Comics in Raleigh off of Capitol Boulevard. So anybody who hasn't gotten your copies of Junior High Horrors or Mandalorian signed by me yet at either of those shops.
What did you do last night?
What do you mean? What did I do last night?
It's Valentine's.
I sang karaoke.
I thought you weren't going to go.
No, I wasn't gonna go, and then I went because it's funny because like the group that goes out there were messaging me saying, "Come on, you can come out here." So I finally just sat there and said to my friend Jesse, I was like, "Well, give me a reason to come." And she goes, "You could be my date." And I'm like, "No, I already know your boyfriend. Like I like him. So no, you don't get to use that." And she's like, "We're poly, it's fine." And I'm like, none of that. But they're awesome. I hung out with them on Saturday night too, because they wanted to go up to Side Quest, my buddy Billy's bar. Mm-hmm. So we went up there, played games for a while, and then you want to know how I know I'm old? So in Raleigh, there used to be a bar called Coglin's.
Yes.
It's now called Zenith. Okay.
I thought, they shut it down.
So Ben sold it to Will, the guy who ran the place for him, and he changed the name of it and everything else. Now, when you walk in, we're sitting there, and there's a girl named Hannah with us, and Hannah's like 23, and she's there with her boyfriend. She comes right up to me and she goes, "This really isn't your kind of place, is it?" And I'm like,
"Why?"
It was loud, and I hate loud. Like,
what do you mean loud? Like, what were they playing?
They were playing 90s music. They had a DJ out there Saturday night.
It's pretty much the same. Okay.
Yeah. It's in fact. So she's like, "This really isn't your kind of place." And I started looking around, and it's not the 80s bar that it used to be. It's a 90s bar now, right? So I'm looking around, and I'm looking at the walls, and there's like a picture of Nightcrawler from the X-Men on the wall. There's another picture of like Rusty and the boy and the big guy or Iron Giant or one of the and then I look over and there's this giant poster of like what looks to be a comic book cover, and I look back at her and I go, "Well, the music's not really like what I like it's too loud for me. Like I just don't want to deal with that. This place really is like the kind of bar that I should like." Because there's comic books and shit all over the place, and I'm just like, but I don't need to like wait for the bass to drop or whatever, I don't need all that. Like,
you are old.
I am, dude. Like I don't mind. Like, so all of a sudden Jessie comes up to me and she goes,
"How old is Jessie?"
30.
Okay.
And again, she's my buddy Ducky's
I try to figure out
partner.
the age frame.
Well, Ducky's like my age.
Mm-hmm.
So him and her like are pretty spaced out, but then Joey and Hannah are like 23, 24, something like that. So I mean, there's a range there. There's like 20 something to 40 something just in the group that we're in, and then there's this other guy named Bert, and like I literally look at him and go, "Anybody ever told you look like Jake Gyllenhaal?" And he goes, "Nobody ever had until today," and that's like the third time today. And he's like, "I think it's the beard," and I'm like, "Maybe it's the beard," but he reminded me of like if you took all the guys from The Hangover and just made them one person. Like it was hilarious. He was really funny, but then we walked to the back of the bar, and like it was a lot quieter back there. So we hung out there for a couple hours, and then had to walk back to our vehicles. And I'm like man, like I'm glad that the people that like to hang out with me, like the loudest it normally gets is karaoke night. And karaoke's kind of loud, but like you go up there and participate in it. No. The guy that does it, like he keeps that place loud. So, but yeah, I ended up going out to karaoke. Got a text message last night. Hey, did you end up going out to karaoke? I'm like, yeah, and whatever. But so, but yeah, so now here we are doing our episode. Like I said, if you're in the chats either way on TikTok or on YouTube, make sure that you go ahead and you say hi so that way we can get to know you. We'd love to have more followers on the TikTok. On top of that, Tino,
Yo.
we normally have a GameStop story of the week.
Oh shit! We haven't had one in a while.
Well, this one's not going to be a happy story.
No.
It's going to be a very sad story for anybody that works at GameStop right now. And what it is, and don't be afraid to give likes if you like anything that's going on in the TikTok chat, by the way. But what was my favorite time? Like when I was at GameStop, every year there was like one time that I was excited about like what was happening.
Christmas?
No, fuck that.
Thanksgiving?
No. You're way off.
You like the manager?
The manager's conference.
Yeah.
And today on Reddit.
Oh shit! Don't tell me they took the managers' conferences away.
They announced that it is canceled. And
Not like this year or like indefinite.
So let me put it this way: the last 2 years they did a digital video conference. This year they canceled it.
Oh shit!
So if I had to guess, I'm going to say that the conference itself is gone. And this is the only reason to want to be a store manager at GameStop.
It's terrible.
So like think about that. That's literally all these people at GameStop basically saying, yeah, they don't need that. Like, why are we? And there's a whole new corporate structure, right? So it's like brand new CEO, brand new COO, brand new president. All these major categories and everything else, and they just don't see the need for it. And obviously it's because after they took over the company, they left it in place last year as this digital conference. They probably read Reddit and saw all the managers sitting there complaining about like how bad this thing actually was. Because it's a digital conference. It's gonna suck compared to a live in-person conference where Activision's bringing out like Metallica. Right. Now granted, we never got Metallica, but we got System of the Down out there one year. We got Ozzy Osbourne out there one year.
Wrestlers too.
Over the years, I got to meet at least one wrestler every year. The year that the TNA game came out, I met AJ Styles, Samoa Joe, Christy Hemme. Hulk Hogan was there that year too because he had a Kinect game that was trash. But and then I met Randy Orton, but never got my picture with him. I met Mark Henry. That was the first time I met Mark Henry, and since then I've met Mark Henry multiple times, but like different Busted Open events, and
he don't remember you.
Actually, he was like, yeah, I do remember that because I showed him the picture of him, like, and he was like, I do remember it because I always bring it up with and that was the year that you got in Dolph Ziggler's line and wanted his autograph. And he's like, oh yeah, I remember that. So, but yeah, so like I'm gonna lift my glass of bourbon, and I'm not gonna pour it out because it's my floor. If it was your floor, I'd pour it out.
I'd punch you in the dick.
You probably would, but unfortunately, folks, the GameStop Managers Conference is no more, and I am saddened by it. Rob got to meet the Immortal Hulk. I did get to meet the Immortal Hulk Hogan. Same year I met Booker T, so I thought it was really funny that Booker T and Hulk Hogan were at the same event together. Sucker. And that was back when we had the Potsy and the Turd show. Yeah. Back then, and the Turd actually had to go up to Booker T and ask for the podcast spot. And
why?
Well, because I had done it the year before.
Oh,
so he had to do it that year, and he's like, and when he walks up, and Booker T's like, yeah, man, I can go ahead and do that for you. Like he's like, well, what's it called? And he goes, the Potsy and the Turd show, and he goes, tell me you didn't just say that. And he's like, I'm the Turd. And he goes, all right, I'll go ahead and I'll do it.
I'm the Turd.
He's like, I'm the Turd. And he's like, all right, right then. But you know, and I mean, I met guys like Nolan North, the voice of Nathan Drake, Deadpool in the video game. Troy Baker, I met the last conference. In fact, right over there, I've got the Last of Us poster that's actually signed by him and whatever her name is that was in it. You know, so I mean, like, just getting to meet all those voices, all that talent, everything else, and then now they're just doing away with it.
Yeah.
Like you can tell that they don't understand what's going on with that company because they're taking away the one thing that managers love. They don't love going into work during these COVID times where customers are complaining that they're being limited to 10 people in the store and they have to wear masks and all this other bullshit. They literally live for that managers conference, and what happens? They take it away. Now, and common misconception, everybody thinks that GameStop pays for that conference. They didn't. That conference was always paid for by the vendors. So, and from what was being said online, now I don't know because I'm not with the company anymore and I don't have any contacts with the corporate office or anything, but the rumor was that the vendors were ready to come back and they were ready to be there for conference. So they were paying for it, and then GameStop canceled it. Just and you know, now the unfortunate thing about that, you know, there's people like their event team that works at GameStop. Well, if they're not doing events, they're going to get laid off. Like, they'll be the next division gone.
Yeah.
You know, and why? Because some guy thinks, hey, third quarter GameStop stuff, we don't need this here anymore. It's the reason to work there. It's the reason to actually say, hey, I'll put up with the bullshit for a full year. You know, now the unfortunate thing about a bunch of this stuff is that Microsoft and Sony, they look at GameStop managers not the same way that they used to, because it used to be, how do you get your product? Right. Now they have Microsoft stores. They've got Microsoft Online. They've got Sony Online. They don't need GameStop as much, and they're showing that. And it used to be that the managers would be gifted these huge like prize packs. You know, like I mean, PS4 Pro, the special edition of whatever big games coming out.
Yeah, Xboxes too.
Xbox One X. You know, like they gave us everything for like 7 straight years, and it's because GameStop was always the number one partner that they had. Like when you looked across the board, we had market share and everything else when I worked there, and they would take care of us. Now what they're finding is that they can go, hey, we can take the top 1,000 streamers, give them a copy of this, and we don't have to do anything with GameStop, because people are going to watch our product on YouTube get unboxed and whatever by these streamers.
Yes.
And it's just ridiculous, man. It's ridiculous that these people like do that now, and you still have to go somewhere to buy it. You know?
Yeah.
But I don't know. Maybe it's something where the connection between like Sony and Microsoft with GameStop isn't the same as it was. And I don't know. I hate it. I think it's terrible, and I'm very disappointed by it. So, with that, I think it's time to get into some wrestling news. And
I just sent you something about the referee that died, didn't I?
Yeah, Mickey J.
Yeah. So
we're gonna go ahead and folks, we're gonna take 10 seconds for Mickey J because he passed away this and I think it was from cancer. Like, I know that he had battled cancer multiple times, so many people remember him from WCW and being the referee that you'd always hear Mike Tenay talking about. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and ready. So, rest in peace, Mickey J. You were a great referee. You always knew when to turn around and not see what was going on. That's the best thing you can say about a good referee, right?
The scoop.
Oh, no, that's Charles Robinson.
The scoop.
Like the 1, 2, scoop. Because you can't have it hit the ground, like then it's for real. So, Chris Barrett wants to talk about the new NWA World Champion. We can go ahead. We can talk about him.
Woo, woo, woo.
You know it. Yeah, so former Zack Ryder.
Radio, tell me everything you know.
I love that entrance song, man. Like it didn't fit his character at all, but
it was cool.
But it was a cool entrance song. Yeah, so he had been doing like the tour circuit and actually talking about how like he was going to come in and beat Trevor Murdoch, and he came in and beat Trevor Murdoch. And he did it, and apparently it's going to air this week. So they went ahead and they announced it. The NWA announced it on their Twitter. Matt Cardona announced it on his Twitter. Matt Cardona is your new NWA World Champion,
and he's the TN.
You mean the ECW TV champion?
No.
Well, he is.
No, he's not.
Yeah, he is.
ECW's not around anymore.
He won it against Rhino at GCW, like at the Hammerstein Ballroom when they did the heat. He literally brought out the old school ECW TV title.
Stupid. Anyway, he's the Impact, the media champion. He beat Jordan Grace for that. So this bitch is holding 3 belts now. Is what you telling me?
And 4, because he's still the internet champion.
Oh fuck.
I mean, he owns that belt.
He owns it. That doesn't count.
And I believe he got married to Chelsea Green.
Did they get married?
I think they finally got married. So
Mr. We'll talk about it when we get into
when we actually get into wrestling.
Yeah, remind me.
So, folks, if you're in the chat on TikTok, go ahead and say hello. Of course, Chris Barrett, Michael Turner, Justin, Jason, whoever else is out there watching us live on YouTube, by all means, continue with the chat. But Matt Cardona he's pretty much doing the same thing that the next guy we're going to talk about did to make a name for himself by saying, I'm going to bet on me.
Yeah.
Right. And specifically when it comes to Matt Cardona, remember when he first got released by WWE and he did like the Chris Van Vliet show and then
brought him back, didn't they?
Who?
Cardona, when he got released, he did the whole internet thing. Then they brought him back because they saw he was popular.
No. So no, they just weren't putting him on TV. Then he did the Z True Hollywood, True Long Island Story or whatever. Right. And he was still under contract during all that because he was under contract for like 12 years with WWE. But then he gets released. He does the Chris Van Vliet show, and Chris Van Vliet's like, "Well, how do you feel about it?" And he's like, "I feel great. Like I thought I was going to be upset about getting released, but like I feel free." Yeah. And I've already got merchandise up on ProWrestlingTees.com. I've already got I've got the Major Brothers podcast, which was
Major
done
Brothers.
I've
missed them.
Which was done specifically as the Major Brothers podcast, so that the WWE didn't own it like they did the True Long Island Story.
Didn't they own the Major Brothers? Because wasn't that was their name WWE, right?
Maybe
it was him and
maybe, but like the toy show that they were doing had nothing to do with WWE. So anyway, from there, he signed like a 5-match deal with AEW, and everybody's like 5-match deal, like what, like why so short? Like this guy obviously is going to be a WWE guy that AEW is going to want, and he signed a 5 match deal. Did the 5 matches.
Then showed up at Impact.
Then randomly, when everybody thinks it's going to be Jon Moxley going against Nick Gage for the GCW World Title, Cardona pulls down the mask and it's him. And he did what nobody thought he was capable of doing. He not only beat Nick Gage, but he took a beating.
Yeah.
Like they're probably still pulling glass out of his back.
I need to go back and find that match and watch it. Have you watched it?
It's brutal.
Yeah.
It's not for the light of heart by any means. But he won that title, then lost that title, I think, to Jon Moxley.
Yes.
So isn't Moxley actually
I think Mox is a GCW.
I think he is the GCW champ. Like, and I know that he just recently was supposed to have a match against Homicide. But getting back to Cardona,
I think Cardona took his place. Wasn't that in the time where Mox was in rehab?
maybe.
I think that's what happened. I think that's how.
Well, Mox beat Cardona for the belt, though.
Yeah, after he got out, he just.
No. He it was before he went in, and then like shortly thereafter he went into rehab. But yeah. So then Cardona starts talking shit about Trevor Murdoch, and before you know it, like they have a match, and Cardona's now the new NWA World
I
Champion.
just couldn't picture Trevor Murdoch as the NWA champion. I will watch that show sometimes. I'm like,
Dude,
why?
he epitomizes what you expect someone in the NWA to look
Yeah,
like.
because you know what he looks like.
Dusty Rhodes.
No, Dirty Dick Murdoch.
He looks like. Well, there you go. Sorry, I'm keeping an eye on the.
You got anybody?
I mean, people are coming in and going. You know, like we had like 40 people in the TikTok room for a little bit. So so pretty impressive. Mox still has the belt. That's what I thought. Cardona has really made his release a great thing. Without a doubt, Chris Barrett, I concur 100% on that one. The idea that Cardona really did bet on himself and didn't just take what probably would have been the easy way out by going to AEW or even Impact full time is pretty impressive.
Well, I thought he was Impact full time.
Well, he probably does have a contract with them, but
Yeah.
it probably allows him to continue to work the indie shows.
And then shows, I think they went in together.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense, right? So overall, I think it's great. I think that what he's doing is really killing it right now, and at some point, WWE is going to come calling again because he's making that name for himself. Just like
Segway,
the biggest news possibly of pro wrestling in the last 3 years. If you ask me, I'd say the biggest. You know, like we see all these AEW signings of Adam Cole. We see Bryan Danielson show up the same night. We see Keith Lee just shows up last week.
That's what I was going to tell you.
You know,
He's going on this honeymoon for a month, and I'm like, I don't think so. And then the next night,
and then he
shows up. I was watching. I said,
and I think Mia Yim was actually in the audience.
And then when he showed up, I was looking at the screen like, I told that motherfucker on the show last night. That's exactly what I thought.
But in even bigger possible news, because I'm not fully sold on this whole theory yet.
I don't think so.
Cody Rhodes, Brandy Rhodes, not Dustin Rhodes. Dustin Rhodes said, "I like where I'm at. I'm staying in AEW."
He said, that motherfucker said, I'm old, job security.
He's like, I'll train the kids. I don't care. Fuck it. But so Cody and Brandy Rhodes announced today, and Tony Khan announced it as well, that they have left AEW. And
that makes sense to me. He's a fucking EVP.
Shane, man, what's going on over there in the TikTok?
He's the EVP. Why? I think it's a word.
So if I were a betting man, I would say that if it were work or shoot, the betting odds would be that you win more money if it's a shoot. Like if he shows up on WWE TV like 2 weeks from now,
and makes that Stardust. That's why Dustin ain't gonna. I'm not putting on that gold shit again.
No, that's not it at all. That's not it at all. What's going on, Shane, man?
See, my worries, and Robin and I were talking about this off air. Yes, if Cody left and went back to WWE, they would fucking strap a rocket to his ass and send him to the moon at first, and then I'm scared they're gonna bury him as a punishment. You know what I'm saying? Not as punishment, but you know what I mean. I'm scared they're gonna bury him after a while.
Shane Man over here on TikTok says he was done so wrong in WWE, and I'm not gonna say he was or he wasn't. There was much better creative going on in WWE when he became Stardust and everything. I actually think that Stardust was a natural transition to what they were doing with the Rhodes brothers at that point. I'm fine with that.
Right.
At the one point that he was supposed to win the Money in the Bank, and it ended up going to Damian Sandow, who was his tag team partner at the time. You look at that, and you think they could have done so much by letting Cody Rhodes actually do that. But But here's the guy who went through like how many bad gimmicks? Cody's mustache, putting the like the paper bags on people's heads, and yet he was never not over. Like he was always solid, right?
Right.
Now, at the same time, when Brandy requested her release and he requested his release, they had some troubles with the WWE. They didn't want to give him the rights to the Rhodes name or anything like that. And of course, that led to the classic promo that never got heard, which was Rhodes, where we're going, we don't need Rhodes. And all that happened. But, you know, Nick and Matt Jackson basically said, Cody, come with us, man. Join the Bullet Club. Do your thing. Get some notoriety. Get on social media. Make yourself known. Do all this stuff. So you know that he's sitting there giving the props where due. But where people need to wonder whether or not it's a true shoot is this. Is about 8 months ago, there started getting rumblings. Now this is third year of you know AEW at this point. There were rumblings that all the EVPs had trouble, had their power stripped. Tony Khan said, "That's it. I'm taking control of everything." So like Kenny Omega was no longer in charge of the women's division. He was still in charge of the, you know, getting the video game made and everything, because obviously he's got the connections and everything for that stuff. But the Jacksons were no longer in charge of the tag division. The Cody was no longer in charge of that mid division that led to like that really bad Peter Avalon or Avalone or whatever his name is.
The librarian.
And the librarians and, you know, all those characters that like we just don't know what was really going on with that stuff. I don't know. Some sort of thing just popped up on TikTok that I don't know. But I can see Spanish is in the audience. What's going on, Matt? So it with Cody Rhodes, the you know, and they played ball with the WWE because you know he let them continue to use the Dusty Classic,
right?
You know, and use Dusty Rhodes' name, and they gave up the Cody Rhodes trademark so that he could actually be Cody Rhodes again. Mm-hmm. You know, so found it. You found it.
Yeah, keep going on the scene.
So, well, you don't. You'll end up having it like.
Well, I'm not going to put it on. I'm just going to.
Okay. So when he left and he did all that stuff, like I remember the tweet that he sent out, which had a list of like 12 people he wanted to wrestle, and they were all over the world in different promotions. And he was like, "I'm going to wrestle each of these guys."
Wow.
And this is when he did wrestle like Kenny Omega. He did wrestle like Nick Aldis. He did wrestle, you know, like Dalton Castle and all these other guys. And this was while, you know, like we talk about the Forbidden Door, but the Forbidden Door, when Ring of Honor was working with New Japan the whole time, was non-existent.
No.
So all this Forbidden Door bullshit now, like it kind of makes me laugh. I don't know. It kind of makes me laugh when I think about it. So WWE can't do a story and only knows how to push 1 to 2 stars at the time. Yes and no. I mean, like Brock Lesnar, when he comes in, is going to get a storyline, right? But I mean, there's storylines going on in the WWE right now. There's rumor that Kevin Owens may have an opponent at WrestleMania now that we didn't expect, but we'll get to that.
Is that who I think is? I've read that they were trying to get a certain someone to come back. Oh, to fight him for real?
I mean, he started talking shit about Texas last night. So you're gonna talk shit about Texas? There's 3 guys that could come from Texas that could come out on a WWE stage and say, "You're not gonna say that about Texas."
And you're using the move.
And you're using and he was given permission, but you know that could always become part of the storyline too. Like, son, you don't even know how to do a stunner correctly. You know,
let me show you.
What the hell you doing? Like letting people kick out of the Stone Cold Stunner? That's horse hockey. That's Hollywood's. Like what are you doing? Stone Cold can't even say bad words anymore because it's PG.
My whistle doodle.
My whistle doodle. What the hell? So all right. So if I had to use my crystal ball and say, okay, where does Cody Rhodes show up next?
Right.
Let's say his contract is up. I say he goes after Matt Cardona in the NWA World Championship.
Really?
Where did Dusty get all his notoriety?
NWA. But he's not. Cody's already won the NWA championship.
And he won it from the
Nick Aldis.
the national treasure. You know, when I met him, I was like, which nation are you the treasure for? And he goes, I leave that up for
debate.
I leave that up for public consumption and debate. And I was like, good answer. He was awesome, by the way, and him and Nikki were great together. But so with Cody Rhodes, if I had to guess, I would say that might be where he goes because he's good friends with Matt Cardona in real life. That's why Matt Cardona had that five match deal. I think that there's a good possibility that Cody could be looking at his bank account right now and saying, what's it going to cost to get Sinclair to let Ring of Honor go and just buy it outright?
Ring of Honor's supposed to be coming back, what, in April?
In April. So.
You think he'll buy Ring of Honor?
I mean.
You think he's got the money to buy Ring of Honor?
I think right now Ring of Honor is worth nothing. It's a name. like they don't have any wrestlers under contract.
But what would Cody do with it? You know what I'm saying? I don't think so. You think Cody?
I think
he doesn't have 20 times Vince McMahon money. So yeah, he could buy a company, but he have to pay the talent. You know what I mean? How would all that logistically work?
So all right, let's put it this way: he signed a 3-year deal with AEW. That contract just ran out. He'd been saving his money all along. He gets 50% of his merch money. Whatever way you look at it, if he wanted to buy Ring of Honor, it's not worth a lot. Like
no,
I'm surprised Vince McMahon hasn't bought it just to put it on Peacock.
I get buying Ring of Honor, but I'm saying, but you've got to pay. You got production, you got travel, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't have that.
Here's the same guy that everybody said he didn't have. He didn't have what it took to put 10,000 butts in seats in Chicago, for All Out. And, he was the guy that sat there and said, I'll take that challenge. Yeah. Now, granted, he had the Young Bucks behind him. He had everything else. But are you going to tell me that you don't think that, like, if he were to sit there and buy Ring of Honor, he wouldn't have a Fight TV deal in, 3 weeks?
Fight TV, yes. Yeah. And I'm not saying Fight TV, but I'm saying
$10 pay-per-views, man. Like Jeff Jarrett did it for years.
I know.
Now, long term, the only way Cody Rhodes goes back to the WWE is with a contingency plan. He's got to have it locked down in his contract that this guy is going to have say in what he gets to do. He's going to want a Brock Lesnar style deal. Might not be worth as much money, but creatively, he has built a brand. Like the only other wrestler right now in the world that has the same kind of brand as him is The Miz.
But what happens when they bring him in and then because they're cut happy at WWE, they could bring him in, use him up for what they want him, and just future endeavor his ass.
He'd do the same thing he did this time. He got let go when he wanted to be let go. He said, I'm not showing up anymore, so you can let me go or what? They're independent contractors.
Yeah.
Like that works both ways. Like all these guys for 50 years have been thinking WWE owns us. They don't think that way anymore, man. Yes, Ali right now is 7 years of slaving his own story on.
But they're on a contract though, so yeah, they are on a contract. Yeah, they're subcontractors, but they're on a contract.
Sure,
so they can't go anywhere. So
they still get paid.
Yeah.
I mean, the whole Keith Lee was out of work for 3 months. He got let go in late September, which meant he got paid through Christmas. He didn't do anything.
90 days, yeah. And
I don't know how, but that dude is this big around and has abs.
That's what I'm looking for.
He literally had I don't know if he had put one of those weird strap on girdle things on or what, but that dude had abs when he walked out there. Now his abs were out here, but it was like Tatanka. Except Tatanka was actually just a big tire at that point.
It was a Tonka truck.
So Chris Barrett says, I think Cody will manage to get a no-cut contract because of the fact that now.
Because of the fact what?
Because of the fact he managed to build a brand. I don't even necessarily think it'll be a no-cut contract. I think it'll be if I feel like I'm not being taken care of, I can get out of my deal. I think it's going to be a one-of-a-kind style deal similar to something that like Brock Lesnar has. Like Cody thinks he deserves big money. He's on two different TV channels, two different shows on a competing network. I can tell you right now, WWE's looking at that going, we get programming on TBS and TNT.
How did they get programming?
Because you don't think that Roads to the Top would end up starring other WWE people
like they did with fucking the Bellas.
You don't think so? Totally get like they would be invading TNT and TBS's networks just by having Cody on television. It's more exposure for the WWE branding. They would absolutely sit there and jump all over that.
But you don't think though? So, but what happens when? I wonder if that's part of the AEW because AEW is on TNT and TBS. I wonder if Cody leaves, do they like okay? They snatch his show. Then
how do you make Roads to the Top with somebody that you put Dustin on there? Like I want to watch him put makeup on. I want to watch him sit there and all right. Unfortunately, Dustin's giant dog passed away last week, so I don't want to sit there and say that I just want to sit there and watch the man petting his dog. But what?
Last Chris Barrett, what did he say? He said something.
Well, the way that WWE contracts work, basically the first 90 days are guaranteed, and you're absolutely right. I mean, but Cody in the WWE is going to make more money than he would make in AEW. It's not, but it's never been about the money, right?
Right.
Although now it's starting to sound like it is about the money.
That's always about the money.
When you're,
at the end of the day,
when you're talking pro wrestling contracts, it absolutely is all about the money. Like we can sit there and lie, cheat.
Red thing at the top.
It says sent TikTok universe to. So maybe someone's sitting there trying to tell other people to join this live feed. If they are, great. You know, we'd love some likes if people want to sit there and start, you know, just dropping the likes. Not asking for the flowers or anything else because I know that costs money, but likes are free. So
hey, if you want to drop the flowers,
we'll take them. You know, we'll take them. I mean, I actually got flowers one night when I did one of these live streams. It was pretty cool.
Nice.
So ultimately though, like, and I know that we're spending a lot of time on this, and I didn't create a banner or anything else, but it is important. I think it's big news in wrestling because we all thought that the first real contract negotiation that might happen would be MJF in 2024 because he even talks about it. Well, how much of a dick move would that be if Cody Rhodes showed up and said, I broke it? Like, sorry, MJF. Like, shows up and that's just it. I think that so Chris Barrett just started following us on TikTok. Or following me on TikTok, I guess. But yeah, we got to figure out the actual Potsy and Tino TikTok but I don't think we have enough followers to actually get a live stream on that. Whereas I've got like 1,400 on this. So but anyway, if I had to guess, it's a work. Okay. I know you already said it.
Oh, it's a work. That's for sure a work.
Like you said, he was an EVP. Maybe he's not anymore. Maybe that got stripped from them. I don't know. But I mean, like when you're talking about him having two shows on top of AEW on TBS and TNT, like although John Cena has the show on TBS, so I mean, like,
is he? I guess he's under contract.
He's definitely still under WWE contract. It's just I don't know if it's a specialty Legends deal or what. But The Rock's under one of those contracts too, and neither of those guys need the money anymore. But they're both still under a WWE contract of some sort, just like Goldberg is. But you know, Goldberg's not doing anything except the Goldbergs, so he can show up and
shut up.
He's on the show.
I don't even watch that show,
dude. That show is great.
I don't watch that.
But I love that show because I grew up in Philadelphia. So, of course, they're in Philadelphia in the 80s, which is when I was in Philly. So it's like,
I thought you grew up in New York.
I did when I turned 6, but like first 6 years of my life, I was in Philadelphia. But just hearing them talk about the Jenkintown posse and all that stuff, like that's like right around the corner from where I grew
Gotcha.
up. So, but just seeing the mannerisms and everything of the different families or whatever that are all in that stuff, it's like this is my family. You know, it's crazy. But
You're a Goldberg.
I might as well.
An honorary Goldberg.
I'm a Goldberg. I'm gonna start spearing everybody.
You spared me. I'm gonna kill you.
So it's funny because Bill Goldberg's on the show as like one of the two. Actually, I think he's now the official gym teacher. Like he's Coach Nick. But so you just see him and he's always wearing a white polo and he's got like short shorts on because it was the '80s. So like, but he's always like, all right, we're gonna play dodgeball,
Coach Nick.
Well, there was Coach Rick, who was there for like the first 5 or 6 seasons, and now all of a sudden Goldberg's on the show, and it just makes me laugh because the show's called The Goldbergs, and Bill Goldberg's
on there.
That's
probably why they did it.
I think
that's why.
Well, he is a pro wrestling fan because they actually did a whole episode about when WrestleMania came to Philadelphia, and they bought bootleg tickets so they couldn't get into WrestleMania.
See, I gotta watch this show. I gotta watch it just to see that.
Anyways, so I think it's a work. And I think it's a work because this would allow Cody to be off TV for, 6 to 9 months or whatever. I say 6 months because it allows him to come back at All Out or All In or whatever it is.
Are they going to have another baby?
No, I think it's so that they can actually just spend time with their baby. Like, they've been on TV the entire time that the baby's been here. Like I would think that probably burns some guy like Cody Rhodes out. What's going on, Des? Thank you for sending the likes. Really appreciate that. Des lit my buddy Chris. I'd already talked about the GameStop Managers Conference being canceled this year, so unfortunately you missed that part, Des. But anyway, yeah. So now that we talked about all that, like I said, I think it's a work. I think he comes back in September. I think they actually do take some time off. Maybe actually wrestle some like smaller venues like NWA or stuff like that for a little while, just to really get people thinking that this is more of a shoot than a work, But ultimately, I think he ends back up in AEW.
All right.
So, you agree?
I agree.
All right. So, did you watch NXT?
Last week?
Yeah.
I did because I watched your boy Dolph Ziggler show up. You didn't see that one?
Dude, so my because everything's on Sci-Fi for some freaking reason right now, none of it recorded. So I had to watch the Hulu version of Raw today. Don't tell my boss.
I'm gonna tell your boss.
Don't you dare. Anyways. So so no, I didn't get to see it. So Dolph Ziggler showed up. What happened?
So what he was doing was the show started off with what's your man's name? That's
Braun Breaker.
No, but he's challenging the guy.
Grayson Waller.
No, the Andrade, not Andrade.
Legado del Fantasma.
Yeah, so he was in the ring talking smack. Braun Breaker came out and said, "Hey, we don't have to wait. We can go now."
We can go now.
Dolph came out.
Dolph.
For some reason, he was wanting to get in to intimidate Braun Breaker, saying, "I've held every." He said he lists off his accomplishment. He said, "The only belt I hadn't had,
hand in my head.
The only belt I hadn't had," and he pointed to him that belt. And so he's trying to intimidate him. So that brought out Tommaso Ciampa,
who showed up on Monday Night Raw last night as well.
That's right.
Oh, so he's going up against Dolph Ziggler. Oh man, that's going to be a good match. That, like, if they give them more than 8 minutes, that's going to be a fucking amazing match. So,
so so when we get off of here, I want to watch the NXT. That's tonight, that match.
Right. And I wasn't trying to be on here super late tonight.
Yeah.
So
let's see what else happened. So that happened, and then they had the melee.
Did you say melee?
Yeah, you know
melee.
Whatever the fuck. Your boy. Eli Drake, no, LA Knight came out and he beat Grayson Waller. He beat Grayson Waller's the big dude.
The big dude.
And so he beat him, and then he went after Waller because he won. I guess he thought that was the restraining order was lifted. Waller said, "No, I'm gonna have you arrested next week on national TV." So that's going to happen tonight.
And Eli Drake doesn't give a damn about anything that you're going to say to him.
I think
because he's L.A. Knight.
I think that
I said Eli Drake.
Yeah, I heard you. I think that they're going to break up Mrs. Stone Cold wannabe. The dude doesn't talk. He married Indy Hartwell. I think they're going to break up Indy Hartwell and her partner because they're trying to make it seem like because the partner likes
Dexter.
No, the dude just got his head shaved. He's the poker dude. I can't remember anybody's names. But they showed a picture of Indy and her together, Indy and him together, so they're trying to break up the best friends. I think that's gonna be stupid. What do you think?
Just like Vince, I'm live on 2 channels. That's what
So there's a lot of.
I now own WCW.
I watched that today. They set up a lot of matches for tonight. So you didn't watch it last week?
I couldn't. Like I said,
Oh, okay. So yeah, that's pretty much
like Raw the last 2 weeks being on Sci-Fi Channel. I haven't like
yeah, I missed it that week before because I forgot to set.
So this week I still missed it, but I was able to watch the Hulu version today. So I did that. So I watched it.
Look what I figured out.
What did you?
I can switch between them now. So that one, and I can switch.
Wait, you're gonna try to? Well, go ahead and put it on the Potsy and Tino one and see if you can go live and see. See if you. It won't kick my TikTok off. It'll just put us on a 3rd channel. Hit the plus button down at the bottom. Now scroll to the right.
To the right.
No.
Oh.
No, you don't have access to it yet.
I don't have access to it. I signed on to it.
Well, no, you don't have access to the live. You gotta have a certain amount of followers before you get to go live.
That's BS. Okay, I'll try.
But that's why we're live on my.
I know, but now that I figured that out, we'll figure out how to build
and
this.
And people, more likes attract more viewers. So if you can, go ahead and hit us with a couple of these.
We actually got 5 followers. We'll build that up.
How do we have 5 followers? Like we haven't done anything to get 5 followers. You literally posted that one thing like 2 years ago, and that was it.
That was 2 years ago.
Oh, I'm sure it was like 2 years. Go ahead, hit the button. See how long ago it was.
Oh damn, it was 2 years ago.
Then turn it off. We're doing a show, man. Come on. We don't want to lose the people that are actually in the audiences. So I did hear that the Creed brothers finally got a good win. The Creed brothers got a good win.
Yes.
And they look good during it.
Yes, but I don't know if they're gonna.
I
don't know if they're gonna win the classic.
So, in your opinion,
but you know what? I take that back. I think they're gonna win the classic because they're already setting up issues with them and Imperium. So it kind of foreshadows this. They almost have to.
Well, it kind of looked like they were setting up issues just between the 2 Creed brothers already. Like, because when he slapped them to then finish the match, like the big one did the splash and then 1, 2, 3, and the other one was just like.
Because he realized he wasn't a legal man. You weren't listening. You didn't see it. They weren't listening to the commentary. What had happened is they got excited. The bigger one was the legal man. So when the little one went to pin him, the bigger one was like, no.
I have to.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's what happened.
Well, that makes sense.
Yeah.
That's actually.
And they said it on the commentary.
Yeah, that's good for the story.
Yeah.
So I like the idea of Ciampa.
Oh, you're excited about that one now, huh?
Ciampa.
So that means Ciampa's going to Raw.
Maybe
because they're saying that he's probably going to get called up.
Well, he hasn't been on NXT like to be there since he lost to Braun Breaker, and obviously it was to sell the loss. But I mean, what else does that guy have to do?
Yeah.
I mean, he's now a 2-time NXT champion,
and they keep acting like they keep foreshadowing like he's like I'm here to take care of you. And he keeps looking at Goldie like just to make sure you stay. And it keeps looking like he wants another run at the title. But I don't think they're going to give him another run because
they're not going to give him another run, but they'll let him lose another match to him.
Yeah.
I mean, because
he's done all I think he can do.
I'm actually putting that one up. The Creed brothers are jabronis.
Actually, the Creed brothers are good.
I like the Creed brothers. I think that and this is what I wanted to ask you when it comes to NXT 2.0. Obviously, it's been going on since what, September?
Yeah.
So we're now like 5 months into this NXT 2.0 thing. Are the matches starting to get better? Because I know that like every episode of NXT has like that one match that's still two guys that were there before 2.0 started.
I hate to say it.
And every time we see those matches with those two guys, we're like, oh man, that shit was a banger, right? And we're like, that was awesome. But then we get like 5 matches on the card, and we're like, ugh, who the fuck cares about Tony D'Angelo?
But I'm looking at Creed brothers. I'm looking at even much as I hate in a minute, Carmelo.
Carmelo Hayes is good, man.
Yes, I hate him because I hate
Santos Escobar.
I hate his character. That's what I'm saying.
Santos Escobar is great.
As much as I hated the ugly chicks, I thought they're pretty good too.
They're not even ugly, and that now. Like you've actually looked at. Yeah, they're not that ugly.
But a lot of these younger. I mean, I'm looking at what is his name? The dude that used to own the used to play cards. That
I don't know what his name is.
But you know what I'm talking about.
I know who you're talking about.
Who got his head shaken
because he lost to Cameron Grimes, right?
His
to Damu.
Yeah, Cameron Grimes getting better ever since he shaved his head.
I think
he's getting better.
I don't know, man. I would have left him with Ted DiBiase.
Damn, as much as LA Knight. I mean, you've got Grayson Wall's an ass, but he's good.
So interestingly enough, backstage talks, they're like Triple H might not even come back to NXT now, because of his heart issue or whatever it was.
He's on AEW.
Him and Shane. Him and Shane as a tag team. Like they'll win those AEW tag team championships. So I hate that stupid thing. So just so everybody knows what I'm talking about when I say I hate that stupid thing. My Ring doorbell with the camera on it, like it goes off constantly and tells me that there's motion going on, and I don't care.
So I was here before I came.
Oh yeah. But in fact, when the door started, that's why as soon as the door opened up, I was like, "Hey, what's up, man?"
Because I have a key.
Well, you also just have to hit the buttons.
I don't remember. I just hit the key. I just used the key.
Well, just so everybody knows, the combination is boop 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 boop. But anyway,
8675309.
Yes, it is that long. That's what she said. No? Did she not?
I don't know. Well, me, I don't know about you though.
Whoa, Nelly. But all this talk about Triple H with NXT, they're talking about how he might not come back, and a lot of people are actually thinking that Triple H is basically being told to stay home, not because he lost the Wednesday Night War or anything, but because they're afraid that he's going to stress himself out to the point where he has another cardiac event, and that happens unless they caught it early enough. So me, my quadruple bypass surgery when I had it 6 years ago or whatever, they caught it before I had a heart attack. If they didn't, I would have damage on my heart. So I wouldn't be able to do certain things, but I'm healthier now than I was, 5 years ago, 6 years ago, whatever. But they seem to love what Shawn Michaels is doing with NXT.
Yeah.
So while Pritchard has to approve the script and Vince has to approve everything going on with the character development and actually give those characters their actual characters, they seem to love what Shawn Michaels is doing with these guys.
Because he's got a great mind too.
He does. The interesting thing though is that when they talk about it, they were talking about how he was able to create new stars out of guys like Cameron Grimes, LA Knight, and Braun Breaker.
Yes.
And you're like, well, Cameron Grimes and LA Knight were already there before NXT 2.0 started. But LA Knight is
he was good before he came to WC.
But he is just primed to be Yeah, I know. And Enzo,
God.
Enzo just being jacked to the like nines, man. Like he is just nasty now. Terrorizing and Shane O'Mac are gonna win the AEW tag team. Well, they don't even own Terrorizing. Like Terrorizing's owned by WWE now. So like
the money.
money. All right, I'm getting off that one. We're just gonna go right to AEW Dynamite, and you're gonna talk about it. What did you like?
Keith Lee. I told you he was coming.
You did. How often am I wrong on stuff like that?
More than you like to admit.
No.
What else? God.
How often do I call the storyline before it even happens?
You get lucky.
Lucky?
Yeah, you get lucky.
This goes way back to when I sat there and said and said the crane kick was coming. And you were like, "Are you writing this shit?" I don't know what you're looking at.
I thought it was a check.
It might be a check.
It's not a check.
It's like when CM Punk just looked under his couch one time and found a $200,000 check.
That's good. I didn't like.
But by the way, do you know where that line came from?
What?
That line, the talk about like the $200,000 check underneath it. So, ever seen the movie Caddyshack?
Yes.
All right. So, Chevy Chase plays the pro golfer, and he invites a woman back to the room, to his loft or whatever it is that he's got, and she just literally finds like a fishbowl of like checks, and it's like each one of them's for like $20,000 or whatever, and he's like, "Oh yeah, just go ahead and take one of those. It's fine."
Wow.
And it's obviously because he's like, "I don't care about the money. I don't need the money." He's living in like some podunk like little loft or whatever, but he's got like $200,000 in the fishbowl. But CM Punk actually talked about how like one time he's sitting there vacuuming the house, and he reaches underneath the couch because like when you're vacuuming, you lift the couch, you sit there, get under it every so often, and there's a check under there for $200,000. So he went to go cash it, and WWE. This was when WWE had laid him off. They had canceled the checks. So like any check that hadn't been cashed, they were like, "Meh." So he had to call them up and be like, "Hey, I need you to reissue the check."
Wow.
So apparently, true story, by the way, folks. So all right, AEW Dynamite. Yes, we got Keith Lee versus Isaiah.
Is that Dynamite or is that?
That was Dynamite. That was Dynamite.
Isaiah.
Not Swerve Scott.
No.
Cassidy. Isaiah Cassidy. And I was fine with the match. But there's no way that Keith Lee wouldn't squash that dude.
I think they're trying to do something with Isaiah Cassidy.
They're trying to do something with all those young guys, and I get it. But like Keith Lee comes in,
but you got. I think they're playing off he hadn't been on a while. They might have been saying, "Oh, there's the ring rust," and he's been out.
No. It's he got caught off guard by this, and he got caught up. Fuck that. Like literally pick him up, do whatever your finishing move is, and just be done with that match. Now, yes, does it hurt Isaiah Cassidy a little bit? Maybe, but the fucker is a tag team specialist, so it doesn't hurt him in a singles career losing to Keith Lee in 32 seconds.
No.
So why have that match go on for like 14 minutes? And it probably went longer. Yeah. I didn't like that. I think that you bring in someone like Keith Lee, which by the way, the whole we need to open up the forbidden door and then slam it shut after this guy signs his contract.
No, because you go back to, and I was confused because the Switchblade showed up. Now,
right.
Switchblade is under.
But did you hear the whole story behind that?
He's under Impact, man. He's fighting on the Impact pay-per-view this weekend.
Yeah. But did you hear the whole story behind that?
No.
So Tony Khan was like, "Oops," when he said it's going to slam the door shut on the forbidden door. It literally, like if you look online, he doesn't say "oops," okay, but like I'm paraphrasing. Mm-hmm. He was basically like, "Yeah, I kind of screwed up when I said that Keith Lee was always going to be the surprise, but like I signed Switchblade to show up because we needed to have something that actually was Forbidden Door. Like Keith Lee was a free agent,
Right.
so it doesn't matter that it's not a Forbidden Door thing.
Right.
So he was like, so I finalized that deal on Sunday, and that's why he showed up backstage.
Okay.
Now, granted, I don't know if he's ever going to have a match on AEW. I would assume he will, and I love like the talk between Adam Cole and the Bucks talking about this because he's like, hey man, once Bullet Club, always Bullet Club. It's like, yeah, but him and Kenny had like a thing for like a year and a half, and he's like, yeah, we'll get to that later, but like right now it's Bullet Club for life, right? Like,
yeah,
and of course that's leading down the road to Adam Cole versus Kenny Omega, or as Cody Rhodes likes to call him, Kenneth Omega. So, then we got the Inner Circle.
Yeah.
You know, it's funny.
Did Sammy quit again?
So Sammy didn't.
He just gave his
technically quit. He threw his colors down because he was like,
get the shit together.
Y'all need to figure this shit out because I've left once. I'll leave again.
Yes.
And
with his 2 belts. Why don't you just get one damn belt? Why's he still wearing 2 belts?
I mean, if you had 2, wouldn't you wear 2?
Oh, Jesus.
I would wear 2. I would wear 2.
Exact same belt.
I would wear 2 of them.
So what do you think this is going? So
in fact, I'd want a third one so that I could actually wear 2 like this and then 1 like this.
Are they going to completely? And then you're going to do this.
And then I'm going to do this.
That's
exactly what I was thinking.
Are they going to completely break up do you think they're going to break them up? Or do you think it's going to be like a DX thing? They'll break them up now and then months down, Jericho's in trouble and here comes the Inner Circle.
I don't know. Because, like, there isn't really a reason for them to be fighting, and yet they're fighting.
I think they're setting up, it's long-term, setting up Jericho and Kingston.
I think they're setting up Jericho retiring. Like, he's been in the business 30 years, man. Like, you got to wind down at some point.
If they hadn't told Flair he couldn't go, he'd still be trying to be out there.
He is still trying to be out there. Who the fuck?
And Hogan too.
Like he thinks he can take Becky Lynch, and she's not even the man anymore. Like I don't know why he even wants to fight her at this point. But
so they've got a match tomorrow. Proud and Powerful against Jake Hager and Jericho.
Yeah.
What else happened? Britt Baker. Britt Baker at the end of Britt Baker's match when Mercedes Martinez came out to face off against Jamie Hayter, and Britt got between them and hugged them both, and they both hugged, and Martinez still looking at her like, "Bitch, I'm still gonna kill you."
Yeah. But didn't we also get the Hangman match last week?
That was a good match. That was better than I thought it was going to be. He chokeslammed his soul out, though. He chokeslammed the shit out of Hangman.
I'll tell you, I watched that match, and the whole time, and we also got CM Punk and Jon Moxley versus FTR.
Yes.
This was a stacked show.
Yes.
And so when it came to the main event, I was sitting there, and I was like, when he flipped over the referee
and hit him,
and then hit him with the buckshot lariat out of the ring because there was only 2 ropes. There's only 2 ropes left at this point anyway. But then they missed the first table and only went through the second. I was like,
he did.
Somebody ain't getting up. Like somebody ain't getting up.
You see Jake get pissed when he went under the DDT. Jake set him up. He did the short arm close on him like that. He went to DDT and pushed him. He's like, oh no, there's the little things that made me pop. Jake was pissed.
I mean, Jake walking around like this, and then all of a sudden trying to do a DDT. Get the fuck out of here, old man! Like, what is he even what is he doing at this point? He's not helping Archer.
He's supposed to be a manager.
Yeah, but he's not even helping.
No, my favorite was a couple of weeks ago when Archer had been with what's that fucker's name that everybody hates from the Academy? You know what I'm talking about? The dude that everybody hates. He's with the
guy with the eye patch.
No.
Oh,
The guy the
QT Marshall.
No.
Everybody hates him.
The dude from the MMA that brought all the MMA people in.
Oh, Dan Lambert.
So Dan
American Top Team.
Yeah, Dan Lambert had been coming out with Archer.
Yeah.
And then at the one time they did show Jake. Why Jake have a damn oxygen mask? Remember they had the thing as well as they were sitting there.
Dude, I'm telling you, like everybody's sitting here talking about how Jake's in such good shape and able, and like literally I saw him doing a TikTok with DDP because they now have a podcast, and he's got the the oxygen that, like, Jake ain't doing so hot, man. Like he might be clean, which is great, good for you, Jake. Stay clean, but he ain't healthy, man. Like.
So I think that's why I think they probably didn't let him stick with Lambert or find somebody else.
I think Archer with Lambert is money.
Yeah,
like Lambert is
he's
like Vicky Guerrero heat. You know, like
he's good on the mic.
That's what I mean.
Wow.
Like everything he says is "excuse me."
So you were dissing the Hangman. Did you get any more respect for the Hangman after that match last week?
I wasn't dissing.
Not just you think you're like he's a champion and he hadn't defended it. You don't think he should have been the champion?
He doesn't do promos. He doesn't defend the championship. You're like that's not dissing him. That's fact.
Okay. So what do you think of him now that he's defended it?
So he's now defended it 3 times.
And what do you think of that match?
And I loved the match. I thought it was great. I thought it was really weird that TNT started pixelating the blood. There were multiple times where when it went to Hangman's face, it looked like a Japanese porno.
I didn't see that.
Yeah. And I called it a Japanese porno. But motion at the front door again.
They're coming to get you. The guy in the white jackets.
The guy in the white jackets. So no, I like Hangman. I think that he's doing everything he can with what they're giving him. The problem is that like normally when the babyface has the championship, he defends it on a weekly basis. And he keeps defending it against random people. And Kenny was even doing that when Kenny was the bad guy. Kenny's sitting there like randomly going up against Fuego del Sol. Everybody thinks that what's his face from Lucha Brothers, Penta.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, oh, Penta should be world championship material. Fuck you. Like, he can give a great match, but I don't give a shit if he's a champion. I'm not tuning in because he's the champion. You telling me you are? Penta's good. You telling me that his storyline is the best?
Not Penta. Who's his brother?
Ray Phoenix.
I think Ray Phoenix. That's what I'm thinking of.
Yeah. Can he wrestle with the best in the world? Yes, but okay. How long did it take Chris Benoit as one of the best technical wrestlers in the world to ever become world champion?
We don't speak about Benoit.
But we can talk about him. He was one of the best technical wrestlers, but it took him 15 fucking years to win a world championship because nobody wanted to buy into a storyline with him.
It took Stone Cold 9.
What?
Stone Cold, remember? 9 years to win a world championship.
But he wasn't Stone Cold that whole time. It took Stone Cold like 2 years.
Okay, Steve Austin.
What are you trying to tell me? Like, bad creative, man.
Well, bad creative. Benoit, bad creative.
No.
You say the thing for Benoit.
Okay. Ray Phoenix can't sit there and carry his storyline on the microphone.
He didn't have to. He's got what's his name? Penta says he's got that dude.
The guy that everybody wonders who the fuck is that guy? Literally, like he comes out and you're like, is that the guy from Billions? Like the weird Italian guy from Billions? Is that who that is?
He's not Italian.
I'm talking about the show Billions. The guy on the show is an Italian, but he looks like the guy that always comes out with Lucha Brothers.
The guy looks Hispanic with the Lucha Brothers.
Jeez, shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up. You're killing me here. You're not even making me laugh about this stuff. You're just killing me. What's it say? Benoit's still top 5 technicians of all. Probably. Charlito is Chavito. No, not Chavo. We're not talking about Chavo Guerrero.
talking about Alex, whatever his name is.
Yeah, not Marvez. Marvez is the backstage interviewer.
Anyway.
Yeah, see, you don't even know his name. Like, oh, this guy will help Ray Phoenix get to the top of the. Shut the fuck up. Like, seriously, man, you know better than to sit there and say something.
One more time, say shut the fuck up.
I didn't watch Rampage. Did you watch Rampage?
No.
Did you watch SmackDown?
Yes. Yes. And the main thing I remember about SmackDown is
Ronda Drowsy.
I was good as Croc Lesnar.
Did you say Croc Lesnar? Except Cowboy Brock.
But the
Croc Lesnar. You popped me on that one.
I'm tired, so I'm forgetting people's names now.
Paul Heyman.
Naomi came out.
Oh, right.
She had her match against Charlotte Flair. Of course, Sonya came down there while she was in the ring talking shit. Adam
Budge?
No, not Adam Cole. Adam
Pierce.
Yeah, Pierce. Scrap Iron came out.
Scrap Daddy
Came out and he said he had an email from Vince and read it and said pretty much if Sonya interfered in that match, she would have problems. So she didn't interfere the whole match. They put on a great Naomi and Charlotte put on a great match. After the match, Naomi lost. Sonya came in. They started jumping her, and then Ronda came out and saved her. So that's probably. I don't remember. Yes, I do. They had the sit down interview with Heyman and Roman. Did you watch that?
No.
They were just pretty much saying it's a spoiler. He's gonna win he's gonna beat Goldberg and blah 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 blah.
Oh, I did like the talk about Goldberg stuff where he's like, I'm gonna Goldberg.
Yeah.
And I thought that was kind of cool, but at the same time, Sami Zayn won the Intercontinental Championship.
So which
nobody cares about.
Who is Charlotte going against at the Elimination Chamber, did they say?
No, she's not.
So Becky's the only one putting her belt up at the Elimination Chamber against Lita.
Right, because Charlotte's got to be protected through WrestleMania. Because she's got to lose to Ronda.
So here's
or she's got to beat Ronda. I don't know.
So yeah, it's all.
I'd like to see in the comments what everybody thinks in terms of who's going to win that Charlotte versus Ronda match.
Ronda. I got to So we got to go to. Well, you got anything else to SmackDown? Because I got a question about the Raw.
Oh, we'll go to Raw. Is Raw even on here? Yeah, there it is.
So the Women's Elimination Chamber is coming up this Saturday. It's been determined that Alexa Bliss is going to fill out that. Remember, they had the open spot. So and I was hoping that Bayley was going to come back and fill that. So does Alexa Bliss win that, and is she going to WrestleMania to face
Becky Lynch,
whoever the champion is?
I don't know. They purposely made Rhea Ripley look strong during the gauntlet match last night. And obviously, typically what happens is if they make you look strong before the big match, that normally means that you end up winning. Well, no. It normally means that you win because that's what happened with Kofi. Kofi lasted to the very last competitor, and then all of a sudden, like somebody came down, like I don't even remember who it was, probably Otis or somebody, and beat him.
Mm-hmm.
But he went through like 5 guys before the 6th guy ended up beating him. So normally when that happens, they're normally set up for the big push, right? So with Rhea having that happen, I think that they may be looking at Rhea's direction, but I think everybody wants to see like Bianca versus Becky again.
Yeah.
They just want Bianca, like as storyline purposes, they want Bianca to make her way back into that. And so far they really haven't done anything to do that.
Yeah.
So overall, I would say that I don't know. It's really a toss up with that one because I could also see them giving Lita the win.
Yeah.
And then going into WrestleMania and being like, okay, it's going to be Lita versus Alexa Bliss, or it's going to be Lita versus Bianca Belair, or it's going to be, like they love those historical figure match versus the up and coming,
and that's why I think Lita's going to win Saturday. And I don't think, like I said, I don't think I can give her a long run. She'll probably hold it till WrestleMania,
and then drop it. But see, the question is whether or not they actually treat Lita like a true legend, like they do Brock Lesnar, or like they do a Goldberg, or because like after Goldberg won the world title or whatever, 2 years ago, like he really hasn't won a match since then.
Yeah.
Like he did beat Bobby Lashley in Saudi Arabia the last time, but that was like a street fight or whatever.
Yeah, I think it was a 50-50 booking because Lashley won, so Goldberg.
Yeah, exactly.
And you knew it was going to happen because he beat up Goldberg's son or whatever.
But every time they brought Trish Stratus back, she's lost.
Yeah.
So they really haven't done that.
Well, I think because they keep having Lita say, "I got one more run. I got one more run." So I think they're not going to give her a long one. And I think because the Prince asked for her in Saudi.
I don't know if the Prince did. Like I don't. I know that they asked for Goldberg
because they seem to like those 90s because they were asking for fucking Undertaker again.
Well, of course they were. So, and he'll probably show up and raise the lights or whatever, and then be like, "All right, I'm out. I'll take my $250,000 to fly over here."
I really think Lita's going to win it though.
I would like to see it.
Yeah.
Like seeing her win one more time, and maybe staring down Ronda Rousey like champion, like holding up the belts. Okay, cool. Whatever.
So do you think? You think your boy Brock does it?
No.
You don't think we're going to go title for title because they mentioned it more than once.
Maybe, but I don't see it.
So who wins the chamber match for the men then?
I think Bobby Lashley walks out with it again.
Yeah.
Because isn't it weird that Big E suddenly is on SmackDown?
Well, yeah, they said that's why they did that. They're not pushing Big E anymore.
Why not?
Don't know. I guess Vince didn't think he carried. They thought he was a flop as a champion on Raw. He didn't carry, I guess, the views that Vince wanted.
And it's because they forced him to wrestle every week instead of Roman Reigns, who didn't have to wrestle at all the entire time. Yeah, maybe that's what it is. I don't know.
Because they're blaming, I guess, because he was the champion versus SmackDown, and when they had Roman, so their numbers weren't as high as SmackDown.
Well,
they blamed it on Big E.
Of course they did. When we know that the writing for Raw was subpar the entire time. But what the fuck?
On Big E.
Yeah, exactly. He was like, you should have done better. Yeah. Well, Brock says that he doesn't care if he's seen as legend. No, he actually on the Pat McAfee show this week was flat out like, some of these kids need to figure out that it's not all about the flippy flop shit, and it's about getting yourself over for real instead of just getting a good move over. And I loved it because that when Brock Lesnar shows up and he starts speaking his mind, like ain't nobody telling him what to say. He's literally sitting there going, take my supplements and I'll be at the Elimination Chamber and I'll be whooping everybody's ass. But on top of that, when I sit there and tell you that I think Pat McAfee is the best thing to happen to WWE commentary in 20 years, he fucking means it.
Oh, he said that?
Oh yeah, dude. He was like, Pat McAfee is the whole reason to actually watch the show. And he is. He absolutely is. But on top of that, like he's sitting there like being asked like, what do you think these guys like Austin Theory need to do or whatever? And we saw what happened to Austin Theory last night. Brock sees him in the corner and he uses him as a fucking coat rack. And then Austin Theory gets froggy from it, man. He got froggy.
That was hilarious.
He leaped on his back and slid right off him. So what did Brock do? Brock was like, "Oh, you're on the ground now? Here, let's flip you over. Let's flip you over. That was great.
I forgot about that.
Fucking great. It really was. It was so good. Yeah, I really don't have anything else. I guess we should give Elimination Chamber predictions.
I think we just kind of did. I said Lita. You said you think Bobby's leaving. I think Brock's going to leave with it. The women's chamber.
It's tough, man.
Yeah.
It's a toss up because they don't push any of them.
But I think I see what you're saying with Lee. So it's going to be Rhea, but I got a feeling it's going to be because Vince loves her so much. It might be Alexa.
Well, I think if it's Alexa, it makes sense that it would be Lita that actually wins the championship. And the reason why is because if you remember when they did the all women's pay-per-view,
Mm-hmm.
who was Alexa originally supposed to face?
Lita.
No, it was Trish. But Trish isn't in the picture this year.
I got you.
And like because of that, I think that this might, if Lita ends up winning, then I think that we could see Alexa in that spot because Vince would want to go back to the well of what he originally, like the Legend versus Alexa, because yes, he does love Alexa, even though he's bastardized her character to no end multiple times.
I was trying to figure out if she's going back to. I thought they were going to take her back to the 5 foot of Fury Alexa with the Harley Quinn. But they gave her Lily back. So is it going to be a hybrid? Is she still going to be? Because she wasn't wearing all the dark makeup and the dark hair, but she still had Lily. So I'm trying to where are they going with her?
I think that overall, when you look at what they're doing with Alexa, they're basically looking at her and going, Lily sells. Like people buy the fucking doll. I mean, it's a fuggler. I don't know if you've ever heard of fugglers, but it's a doll that looks fucking ugly. Like I bought my niece one for Christmas one year, and they have like a website you go to, kind of like if Cabbage Patch Kids were still a thing. The
Garbage Pail Kids.
Yeah, well, those are trading cards, but you you go to the website and you register your fuggler or whatever, and it gives you the whole background story and everything for it.
It's fuggler because I want to go to this website.
They're called fugglers.
Oh damn.
I don't think they're really a thing anymore, but they got one good Christmas out of them. But that's what Lily is. She's literally one of the but she's a WWE made version of a fuggler. She's got the weird fucking teeth on the thing and everything. It's just weird. But anyways, so yeah, that's kind of how that.
So you think they'll keep her with Lily then?
I do because it's a PG program that they need to figure out a way to sell merchandise. And Lily sells as long as Alexa's hot, right? So, and I don't mean physically attractive, although she is.
Well, you gotta fight Ryan Cabrera.
I'll never win that fight. I mean, I would win the fight, but he'd still end up with her. Yeah. Ever since she broke up with me, man.
Whatever. What else we got?
I really don't have anything.
You can tell fucking lies on the show.
What's that?
You can tell lies on the show.
I liked the first time that I got a random Twitter follower that was Alexa Bliss 0007 or something and it was oh my god, Alexa Bliss.
I remember that.
Oh, interesting. But I really don't have anything else. We're gonna go ahead and sign off on TikTok so that we can play the outro music on this. So, folks, thank you so much.
Look for us on the Potsy and Tino TikTok. We're gonna start. Now that I found it, we're gonna start adding stuff to it.
Friday night. Remember, we are going to be doing the Hot Ones Wing Eating Challenge. Yeah, live on the air. So that's gonna be fun. Later jabronis is what Chris Barrett wrote on the TikTok. Yep. So
hey, Barrett, follow the Potsy and Tino TikTok. I'm trying to build this.
Is it actually Potsy and Tino? Like what is it? You just had it right there. Don't go back to
right there.
Oh, really? Still making with the damn.
Shut up. At Potsy and Tino.
At Potsy and Tino on TikTok. So if we can try to get more people on there, but no more 205 live. Yep, that one ended too. So, but we're gonna go ahead and sign off on TikTok, and then we'll go ahead and sign off on everything else here shortly. Thanks for watching, folks.
Peace.
All right, so that one's over. Now my phone looks like it needs to be plugged in. 235 viewers on TikTok. All right, Tino,
Si, senor.
you know what to do.
All right, you can check him out on the Twitter machine. He is at Podcheck.
I don't know why it's doing that.
He's at Podcheck. I'm HoodieFan91 on the Insta. He is Rob. He is, what are you, Rob Podcheck? I am
On Instagram, I am Rob Potsy.
and I'm SC Tino. On Twitter, I'm HoodieFan91. I'm sorry, on Insta, I'm SC Tino. You can check him out on the Twitter machine. He is Rob Potsy Podcheck. You can now check out the show, the Potsy and Tino Show on Twitter. You can find us on Facebook. We're
really struggling with
we
this.
have Potsy and Tino Show on the Twitter machine. We're Potsy and Tino. We want to say thank you as always. Oh, each and every week we're right here on the YouTube. We want to say I'm tired.
Friday night.
I was hoping you guys forget about that.
Friday night, youtube.com/Rob Potsy. I'm going to try to have it on the TikTok as well. We will be doing the wing eating challenge from Hot Ones. 10 different wings, hotter every time. We're going to be crying like little bitches. Well, if you're not going to do it, you're just not invited.
I can watch.
They already think there are too many spectators in the house. I'm not kidding. Because everybody's like, oh, I'll watch, and it's like, no, this isn't like that. You either participate.
Oh, Jesus.
So
all right, I'll be shitting fire.
We'll all be shitting fire.
We want to say thank you to Adam's Housecast for our theme song, the wrestling song. You can get it on iTunes for 99 cents. Until Friday, I might be hurting. We'll see you Friday, folks.
We are out.
Thank you.
Burning.
Burn, baby.
Burning.
Stinking. That's what we're doing. You're going to be in the bathroom.